The reason you feel like you aren't going anywhere is because you haven't created anything. Really think about it. When is the last time that you sat down with yourself and didn't have any external distractions and just focused on creating something just for the sake of it? Just do the thing you want to do. Be that thing now. We don't have that much time, guys. Like, time is literally running out. Do you know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm Daisy. Welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to talk about creativity and what that means for me, for you, for everyone, and how important it is to be a creative person, even if you don't think you are. Let's get into it. I really didn't understand the importance of creating things until very recently. Lately, I'm in a period of my life where I'm honestly focusing so much on just creating things. Not for the gain of anything external, not for more followers, not for money, not for anything like that. Purely just for the sake of growing as a person, and it has honestly changed my perspective so much on creativity. We weren't put on this earth to just consume things all day long, and I think phones and social media has really changed that for us because that's all we are doing. We spend hours and hours and hours watching other people's lives and consuming that, and at the end of the day it makes us feel so bad. What do you think would happen if you took all the time that you spent watching other people's content and use that time to make stuff for yourself? Whether that be journaling, painting, writing, singing, moving, anything that you can do with your own creativity and imagination to just bring something into the world that wasn't previously there is so important for your development. It doesn't even have to be good. Like right now, I really did not have the motivation to make this video, but I had a thought in my brain and I just want to put it out there in the world, and it doesn't need to be perfect. When I was 18, I wanted to start journaling, and so I picked up the nicest journal I could find. I did all my research. I found one with nice paper and a nice colour, and I found a really nice pen that I wanted to write with, and I sat down and I didn't want to write in my book because I didn't want to mess it up. Like, I didn't want to do the wrong thing. Where should I put the date? What should I write? Should I start with Dear Diary? How should I talk about it? My feelings and my day, and everything was just overwhelming. So I didn't create anything. I didn't use it. I just bought something just for the sake of buying it because I wanted to tell myself that I would journal, and I didn't. And then a couple months later, when I came back to it and I actually started doing it, not caring about the outcome, not caring about if it was perfect or if I wrote about the right thing or if I talked about my feelings in the right way, and I actually realised that it was changing me as a person. Taking time to sit with yourself is something that is honestly so rare, and that is not a normal thing. We should all have time in our day to sit with ourselves and learn things from our own brain and just think, what can I do right now that is going to take me out of the present and just allow me to be in that meditative state that creativity puts you in? And I think it's such a privilege if you have the opportunity to do that and the time to do that, then you should really be capitalizing on that. Even if you don't know what to do, you don't know what to write, you don't know what to paint, you don't know what to draw, just start somewhere. Put pen to paper or press record on your video camera and just do it. Sometimes the best things in life aren't perfect. In fact, none of the best things in life are perfect, realistically. When you look at paintings from hundreds of years ago, do you really think they're all perfect? No. There's brushstrokes that you maybe wouldn't put there, or things that make it look a little bit out of character or non-realistic, but that's not the point. They weren't trying to make something that was perfect, they were just trying to create, and that is the beauty of it. Why do you think we have museums upon museums upon museums in all different countries around the world just dedicated to art, to paintings, to sculptures? It's such a beautiful human trait to be able to create things and have that creativity, and that's what really sets us apart from animals, realistically, because we have the passion to do things even if they don't come to anything. In fact, I think it's more impressive if your art isn't for anything and it's just for yourself. Journaling every day and taking that time to dedicate it to yourself, or drawing in your book, doodling, making artwork, painting, filming videos for yourself, taking pictures, whatever that creativity is for you, if you do it for yourself, whether you share it with the world or not, that is changing you as a person and it's changing your brain chemistry. I think a lot of people think that meditation, for example, is sitting there with your eyes closed and not thinking about anything, when in actual fact, meditation is just something that takes you out of the present moment and out of your own body. And that, for me, is creativity and artwork. People don't realise that you can gain that from other things and not just sitting in your room cross-legged. You know, you could be cooking, and maybe that's what puts you in that state of meditation, that state of not thinking about yourself, not thinking about your problems or the future or what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and purely just lets you do something that has nothing to do with you. All you're thinking about is what to chop next, when to put that thing in the oven, when to take it out, and that is so beautiful. And we take things like that for granted so much, but realistically, it is so important. I think especially right now, as a woman in this state of the world, I think it's such a privilege to be able to express yourself creatively in any way. And if you have the opportunity to have time or space or the capacity to create things, you should be doing it, and you should be taking every opportunity to do that. Whether you like it or not, whether you're motivated or not, just sit down and do something with your brain and your thoughts. Sometimes I don't make videos because I think, oh, I don't know what I'm going to say, I haven't written anything down, I don't have like a thought process that's like going through it. But then the times that I don't make anything because I don't want it to be not perfect, I feel so bad about myself because I'm like, why didn't I just make something? Like, why didn't I just put something out there that is moving me towards being the person that I want to be? You know, it's not even about having the future I want to have, you know, it's more about becoming the person that is able to accept that future. And for me, the person that is able to accept the life of my dreams is someone who is putting themselves out there so rawly and so creatively that she just doesn't care if it's perfect or not. She just shows up for herself every single day, and that is what y'all should be doing. I think if you put an identity behind the thing that you're trying to create, it pushes you so much more to be that thing. For example, I can stand here right now and tell you that I'm a creator. You know, I create videos pretty much every single day, but a lot of people wouldn't say that about me because they'd be like, well, she doesn't have millions of followers, so she's not a creator. But what am I doing every single day? I'm showing up and I'm creating videos, I'm making things, I'm editing things, I'm thinking of concepts, and I'm being creative. So that makes me a creator. If you want to be an artist, you don't have to have a painting that sells for millions and millions of dollars. You just have to sit down and paint something. I feel like a lot of people who are creative in the best ways do not think of themselves as anything important, but you are literally the backbone of everything that's ever been invented. Every single thing on this earth has come from a thought. Everything that isn't a natural material has come from a thought. Like these skull pandas behind me, somebody had to think of that thing. Somebody had to think of the brand and then make the brand and then go into a boardroom with people and draw the artwork and then go to manufacturers and engineers and engineer the thing and then sell them and go to marketers who had to think of the idea to market them and sell them to people and find the demographic of people to buy. There's so much more that goes into everything and you don't think about it, but everything around you has been created by somebody's thoughts. So why do you think that yours aren't important enough to put out there? If you're not doing it for anyone else, that's fine. Just do it for yourself. Just grow as a person. Figure out what you like. Figure out how your brain works. Like for me, I love doing little doodles in my notebook sometimes. Even though I'm an absolutely rubbish drawer, it does not matter at all because at least I'm sitting down and I'm creating something, you know, I'm meditating in a form because I am not being myself. All I'm thinking about is how my pen is moving on the paper, and that for me is really important. I'm not going to share that with anyone. I'm not going to share those images with anyone, but for me, it's important because I want to become the type of person who can use their brain creatively, and it's practices like this that really get you into that. People think they can just show up one day and go, okay, now I'm perfect, now I'm a photographer, now I'm an artist, now I'm an influencer. No, you have to become the kind of person that does that thing, and to do that you have to show up every single day for it. Do you really think your favourite actor just showed up on set one day and was perfect in every single way? No, of course not. They went before and they did classes and they did things that were embarrassing and that they thought, oh my god, I'm rubbish at this, I cannot do this, I'm so bad, and they moved through those emotions. No one can tell you that you aren't something if you show up for yourself and do it every single day. You don't even have to be a creative person to create things. People don't want to label themselves and they think, oh, I'm an analytical person so I couldn't be creative. Okay, well, when you're making your dinner and you think, oh, I'm going to mix those spices with that spice and I'm going to make this kind of pasta sauce with this kind of pasta, do you not think that's creative? Are you not creating something in your brain that is not been created before and you're putting it on a plate after making it all together and mixing it into one thing and now it's in front of you? It wasn't there before. You created that with your thoughts, with your mind. And yes, okay, the pasta was already there and the sauces were already there and maybe even the combination of things was already there, but you are the one that put the action in to create that dish. And that to me is creativity. So I implore you to try something new today. It doesn't have to be something that you've ever done before. You know, maybe you've never taken a picture before in your life, but maybe you take an hour of your day to go on a walk and take 5 pictures that you really like. And maybe it doesn't go anywhere, maybe they're rubbish, maybe you hate them, but that doesn't matter because it's not the outcome, it's the action that's important. The action is what creates you into the type of person that does that kind of thing. It's forming you into the kind of person that you want to be, the kind of person that is open to creativity and open to new ideas. This will help you in your personal life, in your professional life, in every single aspect of your life, because you're never going to not have to think for yourself if you think about it really. In everyday life, there's decisions that you have to make all day long. What kind of coffee do I want to get? Who am I going to talk to? What lunch am I going to have? What am I going to do at work today? How am I going to figure out this thing? Who am I going to email? Like, there are so many things that go into it every single day, and people think they're not creative, but you are. Everyone can be creative. I do not think you have to have a quote unquote creative mindset to be a creative person. Just tell yourself that you are that thing and show up for it every day and you will be that thing. I love creating things and I would label myself a creative person, but I don't think I've always been that. I think before I wanted to be someone that did things perfectly and therefore didn't show up for myself because I thought, well, what's the point if it's not going to be perfect, if it's not going to be exactly what I want? It's like people that say, I'm not going to start going to the gym because I don't have time to go 5 days a week, so what's the point? Okay, but what if you start the gym and you went 2 or 3 times a week now? In a year's time, you would have a year's worth of progress rather than no progress. That just doesn't make sense in my brain. Like, just do the thing you want to do, be that thing now. We don't have that much time, guys. Like, time is literally running out, do you know what I'm saying? I don't care if things look bad, I don't care if things are messy, if my YouTube videos aren't great, if my TikToks aren't the best that day, because you know what, in 50 years, I'm not going to be sat at my kitchen table and looking back on my life and going, damn, if only I'd have done that thing I said I was going to do and that I really wanted to do and that I was passionate about, what would my life look like now? Because I do it, I show up for myself, I don't care if I look stupid, I literally could not care any less. You know, when I got my first hate comment on one of my YouTube videos, I actually was so happy. I was so happy because I was like, the fact that someone has watched my video, taken their time to engage with it and comment underneath it and had a thought about it just proves to me that I'm creating engaging content that is provoking thought from people, and that to me is more important than any love or appreciation that I get from anyone. Obviously it would be great if everybody loved my videos and everyone loved everything I did, but that's just not how life works. And if you want to be a creative person, if you want to be someone who is passionate about life and has an amazing life, you have to put yourself out there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it wasn't perfect, but like I said, that's not the point. I'm just happy to be here, and I'd be so grateful if you subscribe below. Thank you to everyone who has subbed to me already. I actually love you so much. Thanks guys, bye!